Hello to all you beautiful people of the internet. Welcome to another cat profile, and this time we are looking at Earl Sutton. He is male. In issue 95, his hair is black, and all the way up until issue 193, his hair is white, but he is balding. Also in issue 95, he is mid to late 40s, and in issue 93, he is mid to late 70s. Before and after the apocalypse, he is a retired blacksmith. And that's pretty much known about him before the apocalypse. So after the apocalypse, he joined the Hilltop colony, where he began to create spears and other types of weapons for the guards, such as Carl and Eduardo, being the blacksmith of the Hilltop. In the volume A Larger World, Earl watches from his blacksmith tent as Rick and his group enter for the first time. In the volume March to War, Paul Monroe introduces Maggie to Earl, and the two get acquainted. He and Earl discuss Paul's nickname and the controversy behind it being Jesus. After being asked by Paul, he agrees to make Maggie a small personal knife for protection. In the volume All Out War Part 2, after the Battle of the Hilltop, Earl is seen talking with Maggie. Earl is working on creating more weapons, and he and Maggie have a conversation while he is working. He says that if he could work 24 hours straight every day to help the war effort, he would. Maggie then remarks that he is a good man. Maggie's so sweet. In the volume A New Beginning, sometime during the 4-year time skip, he and Carl Grimes talked about the possibility of the latter starting to apprentice with him. After Carl successfully convinces his father, he travels to the Hilltop where he can start working under Earl. When Carl comes to visit and approach about apprenticeship, he sees that Earl has taken on Roland as an apprentice and leaves dejected. Later during communal lunch, Earl tells Carl to join him at the table. Carl explains his plans to move to the Hilltop and that he sadly cannot be Earl's apprentice, to which Earl responds, "Carl, who told you I could only have one apprentice?" He presents his offer to Carl to begin the very next day, and he enthusiastically accepts. In the volume Whispers into Screams, Earl is supervising Carl on his first day of smithing and compliments him on his first arrowhead. Later, when Paul rides into the Hilltop colony with an injured Darius, yelling for Dr. Carson, Earl comes running, along with Oscar, helps Darius off the horse and takes him to Dr. Carson. Earl is later seen working with Carl, dismissing him and telling him to ignore the bully's father, who is creepily staring at him. In the volume Life and Death, Earl is present during the hanging of Gregory. Later, he has a booth at a fair where he sells various blades and knives. Unknowingly, he meets Alpha, who's disguised as a normal resident and not wearing a Whisperer outfit. He comments to Ezekiel that she seemed strange. "'Cause it's a crazy woman." In the volume Call to Arms, Earl is the one that informs Carl Grimes that both he and Lydia are safe and are welcome to go back to Alexandria. He also is present when Michonne brings Aaron back from an encounter with the Whisperers. Earl helps get Aaron to a doctor. In the volume The Whisperer War, when the Whisperers attack the Hilltop, Earl is one of the members who fights them off. When most of Hilltop is burned down or destroyed, he, among everyone else, travels to Alexandria. In the volume A Certain Doom, Earl and the rest of the Hilltop arrive at Alexandria as they are taken over by the Mega Herd. He later helps clear the herd. Is right there after Andrea dies, and helps clean up the mess in Alexandria. Someone needs to really take their time when writing the wiki, because some sentences don't make sense. In the volume Lines We Cross, after Alexandria is cleaned up, Earl and everyone else from the Hilltop head back home and begin rebuilding their community. With everyone pulling together and with help in labour and materials from the kingdom, significant progress is made in the rebuild. And in the volume Rest in Peace, Earl lives on his own as a neighbour to the Grimes family. He lives with multiple dogs on his farm, likely to protect him at his old age. He is visited by Carl, Sophia, and Andrea, who suggest he move to another neighbourhood which had more older people that he could be friends with, such as Brianna. He declined as he was happy where he was. Yeah, that's a big change from the TV series, isn't it? So that is Earl Sutton. Let me know what you think of this character in the comments down below. If you had control over his fate, what would you do with it? Do you think the TV series did him justice, or do you think they should have stuck with the comic route? Thank you very much for listening, and have a good day.